JaMarr Chase has been struggling in the preseason with drops. Here's what the Bengals first-round pick. I said first-round pick. They could have used some offensive line help, but they took JaMarr Chase. Said this week about his drops, quote, "The ball is different because it's bigger." This is via the Bengals team website. "It doesn't have the white stripes on the sides, so you can't see the ball coming from the tip point. So you actually have to look for the strings on the ball at the top, which is hard to see because the ball's brown and you have 6 strings that are white. But for the most part, you just have to get used to it and find out what I'm comfortable with catching." You should be comfortable with catching an NFL football. I don't want to blame it on me sitting on my butt the whole year, but it probably had something to do with it, of course.
He's telling the truth. I didn't call him, and I'm 100% sure he wasn't listening to us at 4 a.m. in the morning when I said that to say, oh, I'll use that as an excuse. You're looking at a different football. Now, you could have trained with that football and got accustomed to it, but it takes a little bit of a minute. When I came out, I switched from the collegiate ball to the NFL ball the moment I started training for the draft. And all the way through, I switched. So I got used to catching balls with no stripes and reading the laces. When you can read the laces, it tells you how the ball is rotating, the velocity of the ball. Believe it or not. You know how when we see guys throwing lollipops and we think they got water pistol arms and guys drop that? He's like, how did he drop that? That was an easy catch. Well, if he's used to the ball spinning a certain way, then he's got to position his hands a certain way. That's one of the reasons that left-hand quarterbacks are extremely hard to catch balls from if you are so used to right-hand quarterbacks because the ball spins at a different rotation. The stripes helps you pick up the ball. Then you go into night games versus day games most of your career, indoors. The balls get caught up into the ceilings and domes. All of those sort of things. Early in my career, and you may not remember this, Max, because you're a Giant fan. You're not a Jet fan. But Evan remembers, as a Jet fan, my rookie year, I had a hard time catching the footballs on the sideline because 2 feet in the pros, 1 feet in college. And I would take these long-ass strides, and I would be like, oh, first down, move the chains. They'd be like, incomplete pass, ball out of bounds. I'm like, what you mean? I caught it. But I wasn't getting both feet down. And then eventually I worked at it and became one of the best dudes on the sidelines doing my era in the NFL because I just worked.
That's muscle memory. In other words, like in those moments, you got to either have developed the muscle memory or not. But Key, let me ask you this.
In reading, and one other thing, reading laces is extremely important. I played baseball growing up the entire way. If people don't understand, you can read the laces of the ball coming out of the pitcher's hands. The rotation will tell you what is coming as far as the pitch goes. So all of that stuff is important. He's not lying about that at all.
But some receivers have more trouble than others with this, right? Like there are.
Well, you just can't catch.
What's that?
They just can't catch.
No, what I'm saying is JaMarr Chase, where he was drafted, versus other high draft picks at receiver, those other guys aren't having the same issue. Is that a function of him not playing for a year?
No, it just may be a function of somebody getting used to playing with a different type of football.
But aren't the other rookies also getting used to that?
Yeah, but look, different strokes for different folks, man. It's not one common theme for everybody.
Right.
And look, I obviously Key breaking down what the ball feels like. In the NBA, the ball is so much slicker than it is in college. So when I would come down the lane, if I would hit you with some English off the glass with the college ball, it would just pop off the glass and it would come back. I can throw it on a weird angle, whereas the NBA, if I threw it with that same English at that same position, the ball would just slide up the glass and go straight up. So my thing is, especially if that's just you when you're by yourself, in the midst of competition too, Key, that is muscle memory, Max. You're right. Like that's something that if you're JaMarr Chase, you're carrying that damn ball around with you everywhere you Key. I don't know if you did that in college. I know I did in college. They gave me the ball. I carried it around with me everywhere I went. Same thing with the NBA.
Jay,
all the time.
Jay, I was too cool in college to be carrying the ball.
Well, you weren't carrying the ball yet.
No, but in high school, when I played basketball, I used to bounce the ball to school every morning and stuff like that. But no, I get what you said. Look, man, I'm not worried about the drops because they're not big drops. They're not like every time you look up, he's dropping the football. He only had about 4 or 5 drops in the preseason. It wasn't like he had 20.
He had like
so I'm not
5 or 6 targets. I think that was the problem that people started to say like,
yeah, I'm not
the
worried about
guy.
it. He'll be
I
They
say
fine.
identified him
I
and
said
said Burrow to that guy. You know, I mean,
I think he'll be fine. It's preseason, man. Like it takes some time.
He bet. Hey.
yeah, it's not. Yeah, and fine
Because if he's not,
fine ain't good enough. He's got to be great. You take a dude that high up to pair with your quarterback when you need line help. You got to be great.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.